Now, I'm going to scavenge again for my third action. And a 2.
Join the team.
Hey team, this is McGuire Review, and we're going to be taking a look today at a new game that is going to be getting delivered very soon to backers, which is called Solar Storm. And this one's from Dranda Games, and it is an interesting little game, 10 plus, 45 minutes, and 1 to 4 players. I want to say, I've had a really good time with this. I think this is actually a really well-designed game. It's a very fun game. It's an incredibly simplistic game. I've played this multiplayer a few times. I've played this solo a few times, and I really like both aspects. A lot of times, you know, these games, they have their solo modes, but that mode doesn't really cut it. You know, it's really designed to be a cooperative game, and it's been modified to be able to, you know, work for that solo aspect where you're controlling generally multiple characters, much like you were playing a cooperative game, you're just playing by yourself. In this one, there is a dedicated solo mode that is different than just playing multiple other characters. There's a different setup for how many cards you start with. Your hand size is the same, but you do start with a different amount of cards. And then the way that it works is a little bit different. We'll talk about that a little bit because I think that the solo mode is executed really well. I will say there are a few different aspects of how you can tweak the game and playing the game. There's a couple of different modes here. We'll go to the book real quick. And I found the book was very well laid out. Again, the instructions and the concept of the game is very, very simplistic. So that was laid out well. So we do have a solo mode. Again, there's expansions, kind of mini expansions that are built into the deluxe version of this game. One of those is alternate card rooms. So there are cards. You're on this spaceship kind of hurtling in towards the sun, and you need to get all of the power of these rooms, the electricity and the current diverted from these rooms back to the energy core, so then you can, you know, shoot away from the sun and not go hurling directly into the sun. So there are some different room cards that are available. There's some different damage control cards. We've got damage cards here. We'll talk about those. Those do damage to the room over the course of the game, or the rooms over the course of the game. And there are some that are a little bit different you can modify in. And then there's the escape pod, which is right here. And this is a fun little extra if you want to add this in. It adds sort of a different end game where one person can choose near the end of the game to try to jump over to the escape pod and shoot off. It is a risky win to try to win that way. And you do kind of, you know, screw everybody else over that's going to be in your team, because you either win or lose together in this game. There is no competitive version of this game, but it's just it's kind of a way to steal a win for yourself if you're able to get it, but it is very risky. So, you know, we did play and try that one time, and it does add a layer of fun and flavor to the game. After you've played the game a few times, maybe you want to add this in and just give it as an option to your players. It does make it does make for some very interesting end game decisions by folks. So that's pretty funny. All right, so that's the book. So component wise, it's very simple. You've got some reference cards here. Each player will get a reference card for the different colors that we have in the game, which is black, blue, red, and yellow. So there will be a black, blue, red, and yellow card here. So each player will get one of those, and that card is double-sided. It's going to give you basically the 3 phases you're going to go through when it's your turn as a player, and the things that you can do within each one of those phases. Right here on the card, you really only need to have this card in front of you and a probably very quick explanation of the game, and everybody can just up and start playing. So it's a very easy game to teach as well. I highly recommend this as a gateway game, picking something up like this. It's low dollar, low cost, and it's going to add a lot of fun to your game nights, especially with folks that maybe are very new to tabletop gaming. Okay, you're going to have these little damage cubes. I'll show you what those are here in a second. Some extra action cubes, your power diverted cubes here when you do divert the power from these different rooms to the energy core, so you cannot hurtle into the sun. We have some tokens for that. You will have a single die, which is going to be used when you look for more materials to be able to repair these rooms and or divert the power. You're going to be rolling this die when you do that. There are these protection cards. These are things that you can get to protect rooms, sort of put force fields around rooms. Each one of these cards, and Bear can hit us with an overview as well as some up-and-close pictures here when we're looking at these things, but each one of these cards has a number of things on them. So if we just look at the mess hall here, with the mess hall, it's going to have a power, and that's just right down there at the bottom. Every card follows the exact same structure. There is an action for every card. And then you are going to have 3 icons here to one side of the card, the larger one. There are 3 smaller, but we're looking at the 3 larger that are here. Those are the 3 resources that have to be on the card to have the card be repaired. So as the card is damaged over time, or that room is damaged over time, those cubes will be taken off of those spaces, and when you go to that room, if you want to repair that room, then you would have to have a card with one of those symbols on it. And it's that easy. And you want a room to be fully repaired because it cannot be activated. You can't turn the electrical current back on and divert that power to the energy core unless the room is fully repaired. So all 3 of the damaged cubes have to be, or all 3 of the cubes have to be on those symbols. And then all you do is have to have those 3 cards in your hand. And when it's your turn, you'll cash those 3 cards in, and you'll be able to divert power to the energy core. And that is simply the concept of the game as well. It is that simple. And it's really a strategic balance between, where do you move and where do you repair and when do you divert power, based on just this constant, okay, this room got damaged, so we got to go repair that room. Every round, the rooms are going to be getting damaged. And it's going to get to the point where you're going to have 3 rooms at once being damaged every round. Once this damaged deck sort of works its way through, there's kind of 3 different levels. 1 room will be damaged each person's turn. Then after so many cards, you'll get 2 rooms. Then you'll get 3 rooms. And then the very bottom of this damaged deck is this Hall Breach card. And if you ever get to the bottom of this deck and the game hasn't ended yet, and we'll talk about how the game ends, but if you ever get to the bottom of this deck and it hasn't ended, then you will just start rolling dice, and you will just take that many cards off of your resources deck. So the resources deck is important because it's, the primary way to repair and divert power to all your rooms. So it's going to have all these different resource cards, and that's as simple as the card is. It's just a color with a little image on it. Well, actually, a fairly large image. It fills most of the card. And this is nanobots. And then here we've got metal. And then here we've got energy. And there's a few different ones that you're going to have in this deck. And when this deck runs out, if it ever empties completely, then the game is over immediately. If this deck runs out and you haven't won yet, or the game will end if, in fact, any of these rooms are damaged and they can't be damaged anymore. So what I mean by that is, let's take the bridge here, for example. So we'd start the game, we'd put one of these cubes on each one of our icons here. And let's say over the course of the game, this room got damaged and then got damaged again and then got damaged a third time, and none of the players repaired that room. And then this room gets damaged again. So whatever gets damaged and it has no cubes on it, then you've immediately lost the game. So it's one of those game mechanics that I've found you could literally be mid-game or even early game, and if you're not paying attention and you're not all working together, you can very quickly lose this game and like, all right, game over. Kind of have to start the game over because it's a very easy setup, so it isn't like that's a big deal by any means. You're back within a minute with the whole game reset up and ready to go. But it just shows that there's sort of 2 different types of counters of endgame for this game. You've got the really, what I call a really quick, more forceful, kind of tactical endgame, and then you've got a longer endgame sort of doom counter, which I call this deck right here the resource deck. So that's how end game is going to work. That's how you're going to lose the game. You're going to win the game, obviously, like we said, by getting all 8 of these tiles around our center energy core here with the power diverted. And you'll just put a token on that once that's happened. Now, the other nice thing about once you've diverted power to a room, so let's say we got our mess hall. So the only way we'd be able to do that is if at one point in the game, all of these cubes were on there and this room was fully repaired. There's no damage to it. Someone moved to this room, and they also used one of their actions. You'll have 3 actions every time it's your turn, unless you've saved actions, or unless you use a room's power to get yourself more actions. You'll have 3 actions, and they also had a blue, blue, and a green. So that is what it takes to divert power once it's fully repaired. If they were able to do that on their turn, then we would put one of those tokens right there, and once that happens and all of them are diverted, and then one person makes it to the center and uses an action to sort of execute the central energy core, then the game would be over and the players would win. So it does seem easy. I'll be honest, when I first got it out of the box and I read the rules, I thought, okay, this is going to be one of these games where every time we're moving around and every time there's something that is becoming a problem for the whole group that we need to solve, it's just a constant management of issues, and it just doesn't look like it's going to be that difficult. There's not that many, there's 8 rooms. Okay, I got to get these symbols. Okay, this is going to be easy. I haven't won this game yet, and I've played this game a number of times. I'm pretty good at these kind of games. What I've found is I've gotten really close. I've got 7 of the 8, and then ended up losing because it was just like 3 rooms at a time, and I just couldn't keep them all repaired. The thing that I've learned about this game is you need to keep your players sort of spread out, and you absolutely have to optimize using the powers of these rooms. Don't ignore the powers. They seem basic. A lot of the powers seem basic. Some of them seem kind of powerful, but some of them are just like little basic powers. Really utilize those powers. It is the key to winning this game. I don't believe you can win this game without really maximizing using the powers. And that's one of the reasons why this game has really brought me back to the table time and time again, is because I wasn't able to just pull it out. And I do play on a harder level. There's a way to change the difficulty of this game by use of these universal cards. These get shuffled into your resource deck. It's like a general card. It counts for any one of the symbols, any one of the colors. So you can shuffle a certain number of these cards into the deck to control the difficulty in the game. And granted, I have played on the more difficult levels of the game, but that's what brings me back to the table, is seeing that it isn't going to be just this easy win. So what we'll do is we'll look at these cards here. So you can see right off the top there, it damages 1 room, and then I got a couple here for example. This next one, see it does 2 rooms, and then this next one you'll be doing 3 damage to 3 rooms at a time. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set these cards out in their stacks: 1 room, 2 room, 3 room. And we'll get this out of the way real quick. We'll do a little setup here. And let's put all the 3s together, all the 2s together, and the 1s together. Some more 3s. Okay. And you're gonna shuffle those up a little bit. Okay. We're gonna shuffle those. And then we're going to have all those ready to go. So every time it's going to be sort of a different, cadence of rooms that are going to get hit. You're also going to shuffle these and put them out in a random different order every single time. Okay? And then you're going to stack these on top of one another. But before you do, what you're supposed to do is take the bottom. You'll fill all of your rooms in. So they start all fully repaired. Okay? Everything's repaired to start with. And then you're going to damage these rooms with your damage cards to start off the game. And that's going to be different every single time as well. So you're not always going to have it's the right corner that is always damaged first. Okay? So those are all filled in. They're all fully repaired. And then you're going to grab your stack of the 3s, and you're going to pull the 2 off the bottom. and it says the Medical Bay, Repair Center, and Armory. So we'll go Medical Bay, and you always damage from the top down. So you can repair in any order, but you damage from the top down. Medical Bay, Repair Center is now hit, and the Armory is now hit. So these 3 rooms are already down. We're now going to damage 1 more room. Now the bridge is down, so maybe that's not going to be the place. We'll see. The crew quarters up right here, so that just took that off our list. And then the repair center got hit again. So that just changed a lot. So the repair center is down to 1 cube. So someone's probably going to want to get here pretty quickly and repair. The repair center also you can repair a damaged room by 1 space on the repair track, discard the matching card. So if you're standing here, you can repair anything on the board as long as you do have that symbol and card. So that's good. So someone's probably going to want to go here, and someone's probably going to want to go here. Okay? That's probably our best first couple moves. So we'll go ahead and take those 3. We'll put them at the bottom of the stack, and then our hall breach goes at the bottom of that. So if it ever runs out, we'll be doing that hall breach. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle a set number of these cards in. We'll just hold 3 of them out, and we'll shuffle in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll just kind of do a quick allocation here to the deck. All right, and we'll give it a couple shuffles here, and then we'll be ready to go. So we've got blue, we've got red, and we've got black. So let's put this right here. Let's put red over here. Let's put blue right here. Oh, sorry, that's black. And then blue we'll put right there. Okay. All right, so we've got our players. We've shuffled up, and there's always 2 resources that sit out next to the resource deck. Okay, well, we got 2 blues, 2 datas. Okay, we'll put our red down here. Got 2 datas. All right, and then every character is going to start with 2 cards. And those cards are going to be visible at all times because it is a cooperative game, and you want to make sure everybody knows what we got. So we have 2 purples, we got a red and a green, and we got a blue and a red. So let's look here. What do we need here? We need a blue, a red, and a purple. Well, we got a blue and a red, and this person has a purple. And what we'll do is we'll start here with the blue, and we'll go across for our little play example. So let's look at exactly what you can do on your turn as a player. There's 3 phases. First phase is the front of this card, and it tells you all the things that you can do. You have 3 actions. So you can do 3 of these things, and you can do them in any order you want and multiple times. Every time you move, it's an action. You can repair a room. You can activate a room. That's the ability of the room. You can divert power to the room. That's what we talked about, paying the cost over here if it's fully repaired. You can scavenge. If you roll a 3, 4, or 5, you take 1 card. Roll a 6, a crit, you take 2, and that comes from right here. So you're going to take one of those cards, or you're going to take them both, and you're going to replace them if you roll a 6. You can share resources if you're on the same card, and I think we're going to do that here in a second. And then you can save your action. So if you don't want to use any more actions, you have one left, you can save an action. Well, you could save all 3, technically, if you wanted to. You could save that action and put that on your card, and then your next turn, you've got more than those 3 standard actions. All right, so we're going to do that first phase. So blue is actually going to, at first, share resources. It's an action for every card you give or take. So if you swap a card, that's actually going to cost you 2 actions, 1 for the give and 1 for the take. However, we're going to use 1 action to trade resources. So we're going to take this resource card from red, and a red has agreed to that. That's going to be 1 action there. So now we're going to have the purple. For our second action, we are going to move right up here, and this room is fully repaired. So for our third action, we're going to cash in the blue, the red, and the purple. And it shows right here on the card, blue, red, and purple allows us to divert the power. So that's done. We'll put that in let's just move this over here. We'll put this in a discard pile for the resources, and we have now activated this room on turn 1. Okay, that's all of my actions. I then would do phase 2, which is take 1 face-up card or 2 cards from the resource deck. So I can choose one of these, or I can take 2 from here. Now the trade-off there is you are, in this case I don't have any cards, so I'm going to take 2 from here, but you got to be careful with that near the end game, because as you're taking more and more cards from that resource deck, that is sort of your counter to end game. Okay, so I'm going to take 1, I got a red, and I'm going to take 2. Ooh, nice, got a universal, so that's going to be able to be used for a lot of different things. In phase 3, we're going to damage the ship. We're just going to take the top card, turn it over, and that damages the cargo hold. Right there. Okay, that actually worked out perfect. Now, you may think, okay, the power's already diverted, so we don't have to care about these rooms getting damaged. Wrong. They are still an issue. You don't want them to run out. You can still lose the game, even if it's an area that's already been technically accomplished. However, the game does make it much easier once a room has its power diverted away from it. I just kind of set these back away from these symbols because it's much easier to repair it. So if I wanted to repair this room after it's already got its electrical token here, all I have to do is cash in one of these 3 symbols while I'm on the card, and I use an action to repair, and it repairs all 3 of them. So the rooms become much easier to repair. So just what you'll find is as you play this out, you'll probably let these rooms get down to 1 cube before you really deal with them, because then you can just go there, pay 1, and repair the whole entire room. Okay, so the blue player's turn is now over. It is now the black player's turn. So what will we do here? We've got a green and a red. We can repair. There's a green and a red here that needs to be repaired. There isn't any. Let's see. It would take us 1, 2. We have 2. We don't have anything to do. We can't do anything there. We could fully heal this one. 2 reds and a purple. And let's see. When it gets to red, they only have a purple. They don't have 2 reds. I could share one of my reds. So that's the thing. You got to think about like the next player's turn as well to sort of strategically stack sort of those cards in your advantage to be able to get the power diverted. You know what? I don't like this right here, and plus I can repair from this spot. So I'm going to move here for 1. I'm going to repair. Interesting. Okay, watch this. I'm going to repair this room with the green. Okay? And then I'm going to activate the room's ability to repair another card. Nope, I didn't want to do that. I want to repair with the red. I want to repair the red. Okay? And then I want to activate the ability to repair but cash it in. So I will repair the crew quarters, make it fully repaired, and cash in my green. And that is all 3 of my actions. I then will draw, I'm going to draw 2 face-up cards. I get a purple and a red, and then I'm going to do the damage, and that is the armory. So the armory takes another hit. Another piece of damage there to the armory. Not good. Now the armory is the one that allows us to place the protection tokens. I found those are also very important in this game, is getting to this room and protecting rooms with these protection shields so they can't be damaged. That's very important end game, I have found, if you use that end game to protect rooms that would get hit multiple times. Okay, turns over. Now we'll go the red player. Red player has a single purple card that is not going to cut it. However, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move here for 1, and I'm going to scavenge for 2. So I'm going to roll this die, and if I get a 6, I get both of these cards, which I don't need either one of them. Now, I can take a card from the top of this deck if I don't want either one of these 2, so I'm going to do that. So for my second action, I will scavenge. I got a 2! It was a fail. You got to have a 3, 4, 5, or 6. 1 or 2s is nothing. Oh, let's see. What do you have here? Move a player's meeple to a room that has another meeple in it. Would that be beneficial? Should I move blue over here to the repair center as well? That might be beneficial. We need a purple. That's not really going to help us very much. However, does anything take a blue, a purple? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use the third to move blue over. Now it has to have another meeple in it. Now I'm gonna scavenge again for my third action. and a 2. Ugh. Okay, rolled a 2. So that's a bust. Nothing's going to happen there. We're going to draw. I'm going to take 2 from this versus the 1 from what's open, because I just don't need the blues right now. Okay, that helps. That's good. And then we're going to damage. And the mess hall is taking a hit. So mess hall is now down by 1. Okay, so we're going to stop there. I just really wanted to show kind of how a round of the game would work. So that was a full round for a 3-player game. And that's how simple the game is. That's how quick it goes. That's how quick the turns go. One thing that I do find with this game is it isn't necessarily okay, think about what you're going to do on your turn, and that will keep the game moving fast. You can think about what you're going to do on your turn all you want, but that's generally not going to work out of whatever strategy you had. The board is small, and it changes very fast, very tactically, because of these damage cards that is damaging the rooms. Yeah, that's the reason why. That is what is working against you. So that is what is going to mess you up. All right, team, that's Solar Storm. It is going to be delivering very soon, and then coming to retail. Excellent little game. Highly recommend it if you like the space theme, if you like the cooperative, I like to call it disaster maintenance type games. If you like that, you're going to love this little game. Small form factor, travels easily, and it is a great gateway game. Definitely will put the stamp of approval on this one being a good gateway game for folks. It's pretty awesome. All right, so hit that like, hit the subscribe below to join the team. Keep rolling them crits. This has been the McGuire Review, and we'll see you next time, Bear. Let's roll!